My fiance lost his memory in a crash and forgot my face. I realized too late he was falling in love with someone else. I fell in love with Julian because of his letters. He was a poet at heart, a man who could describe a sunset in a way that made you feel the warmth on your skin. When we finally met, it was perfect. We were engaged within a year. Then came the accident. Julian survived the crash, but when he woke up, he looked at me with the eyes of a stranger. The doctors diagnosed him with a factual condition called prosopagnosia, or face blindness. This isn't amnesia. Julian knew who Sarah was. He remembered our history, our jokes, and our plans, but his brain could no longer process facial features. To him, every face, including mine, looked like a blurred, unrecognizable map of skin. He could recognize me by my perfume or my walk, but if I changed my hair or stayed silent, I was a ghost to him. The strain was unbearable. Julian became depressed, frustrated that he couldn't see the woman he loved. He started spending all his time at a local blind support center, where he met a woman named Elena. He told me about her with a spark in his eyes I hadn't seen since the accident. "She understands me, Sarah," he'd say. "She doesn't care that I can't see her. We just talk for hours." I felt a jealousy that burned through my soul. I was the one who had stayed. I was the one who handled the hospital bills. And now, my fiancé was falling for a stranger because she was easier to love in his darkness. He eventually told me he needed space. He moved into a small apartment and started seeing Alina every day. I was devastated, but I couldn't let go. I began to follow him, watching from a distance as he sat on a park bench, laughing with a woman who wore a heavy veil and a wide-brimmed hat. I decided to confront them. I waited until they were on their bench and walked right up to them. "Julian, how could you do this?" I screamed. Julian jumped, looking around wildly. He couldn't recognize my face, but he knew my voice instantly. "Sarah?" he whispered, reaching out his hand. "What are you doing here?" I turned to the woman, Elena. "And you, who are you to steal a man who can't even see your face?" The woman slowly lifted her veil. The park went silent. The woman wasn't a stranger. It was my own mother. My mother had known Julian was planning to leave me because he felt like a burden. He thought his face blindness would ruin my life, making me a permanent caretaker. He had planned to disappear so I could find someone whole. My mother had intercepted him. She created the persona of Elena, using a different perfume and a different style of dress to be his anonymous friend. She wasn't stealing him. She was retraining him. She spent every day with him, teaching him how to recognize the nuances of my voice, the specific rhythm of my breathing, and the way I laughed. She was building a bridge back to me that didn't depend on sight. Julian broke down in tears. "He didn't fall in love with a stranger, Sarah," he said, his voice trembling. "I was falling in love with the parts of you I thought I had lost. Your mother was the one who showed me they were still there." I realized then that we spend so much time looking at the surface, we forget that the most important parts of a person are the ones you can only hear when you truly listen.